This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Self-improvement and education are two things I'm very big on, and Skillshare gives you the tools to get better at something and to become a better version of yourself right from home. It's an online learning community with literally thousands of different classes for creative people in all kinds of different forms of media. Graphic design, animation, music, photography, web development. You can learn how to edit video or even fine-tune your current skills and get better. I took John Lagomarsino's How to Make a Podcast class to see what tips and techniques he offered. Right now, the first 1,000 of you to use the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium, and after that, it's about $10 a month. Don't wait, try it today. So we got our hands on the draft pages for Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 71. I'm going to go into what happens here in these draft pages in this video. There will be spoilers for the chapter for the early portion of it, so if you don't want to be spoiled, this is not the video for you. It's not too much though, because a lot of the focus of these draft pages is not on Granolah, even though there is a mention of him. It's on the evolution of Ultra Instinct and how the angels perceive Ultra Instinct as opposed to Goku. Now, I've always been very interested in angel powers and in Ultra Instinct because, you know, we've seen Goku go from Omen to Silver Hair to now being able to transform into Silver Hair at will. But he's still not quite where the angels were. And I want everybody to understand that this is, you know, they're moving the goalposts for Goku right away, but he'll be able to understand Ultra Instinct like how they do. And I'll get into it here. So we do have translations from Herms and everything, so sit back, relax, let's go ahead and get into it. Here is the image that came out a couple days ago, unfinished, of Goku and Whis training together, excuse me. I love this image. It's such a Karate Kid, like, you know, old school kind of, you know, sensei master type of thing, which is exactly what this is. This is more discussion of the Granolah arc and what's been going on so far. Now, interestingly enough, for this month, there's less pages. Now, what does that mean? There's less draft pages. What does that mean? Could it mean that this month there's a lot going on in this chapter that Toyotaro does not want to reveal? I think that is the case, because if y'all remember, back when the Granolah arc began, those draft pages were kind of limited in the sense of, like, we didn't see the, you know, he didn't go into anything too major in these pages purposely. I think now the way the manga is being written, he's purposely having the latter half of the manga get the primary, like, moving the story, getting the primary story focus. You know what I mean? In other words, Toyotaro and Toriyama, well, it's Toyotaro who's actually putting together the month-by-month structure. He's purposely making it so that the preview pages are going to give away a little bit, but not everything. And instead of having like a big shocking moment happen at the beginning, he'll probably save it for later, even though we'll probably see a few shocking moments just to get you to get hooked up, just to get you hooked on the manga. So here's the image right here of Goku and Whis training together, when Whis explains to him that the big difference between Angel Ultra Instinct and Mortal Ultra Instinct, what Goku has, is that the angels are always in that state, which is one big reason as to why they are so hard to defeat, almost impossible. We've never seen an angel lose a fight, even though they probably can be beaten by the Grand Priest and people, maybe Zeno can just wipe them out, but we've never seen Whis even get hit. We've seen Goku bite him, right? But we've never seen Whis actually get like any kind of real damage, you know what I mean? Like he can dodge anything at all times. And that is crazy, because what they're telling us right here, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. What they're telling us right here, I love this scene here with the staff, is that the angels are always in that state at all times. And that Goku, in order to truly do or master or whatever the angelic version of Ultra Instinct, right? That's what I'm going to call it, like Angel Ultra Instinct, okay? That's going to be my name for it right now, because I don't want to call it mastered or completed, because they're already been taken by the Silver Hair, right? So to avoid confusion until we have an official name, which we probably will if Goku gets this power, If he does, we're going to call it Angel Ultra Instinct. So in order for Goku, if Goku's able to master this, that means he can use UI all the time, even without being transformed, and only need to use the transformed version as a trump card. So to me, it sounds a little bit like Omen, right? Except that based on the way it's described, we haven't seen it yet, it's more so Goku in his base form. Now, does this mean, this is going to be the obvious question here, does this mean that End of Z Goku, the one that fought Oob, was in this form? Possibly. In fact, it would make sense. Remember back when Resurrection F came out, or even before then, how when Goku absorbed Super Saiyan God into his body, many of us thought that when Goku was fighting Oob at the end of Z, right, after Battle of Gods, at the final chapter of Dragon Ball, that he already had the God Ki inside of him, right? He just wasn't transforming into Super Saiyan God. Same idea here, where maybe, we don't know for sure, but maybe when he fought Oob at the end of Z, maybe he was in that Ultra Instinct, suppressed state or whatever you want to call it. But I feel like if Goku does achieve this, where does he go from here? That'll be something they'll come up with probably in the future. So another image here. I'm going to go into what we says here about the angels and the UI. And he does mention Granola. There's a mention here. There's already a teaser of Granola meeting up with Goku and Vegeta, which is going to be happening soon. I mean, if it's not 71, it's 72, right? They're not going to hold back on this. It could be a thing where this chapter, 71, ends with Granola meeting up with Goku or with Frieza. He might be going, because he wants Frieza, really. That's the target. The Heaters are going to try to manipulate Goku and the others to fight Granola. Because they even discussed that if Goku and Vegeta both fight Granola 2-on-1, or even they don't know about fusion, but if they did, it's teased. Gogeta might still and probably will defeat Granola. I mean, it's just, he can't. I love this right here. This would look awesome whenever they decide to animate this, and we get these episodes in anime format. Seeing Whis do all these cool tricks with the baton is just really cool. So let me get right to the translations here. I mean, here's the image right here of Whis just showing off. This is what Herm says, right? It's called, the name of the chapter is Hita's Plan, the Heater's Plan. So that's part of the manipulation I was telling y'all about. So he says that Whis asks Goku the biggest difference between him and the angels. A halo, he says. No, Whis says it's how angels are always in the Ultra Instinct state. Goku shouldn't need to transform to do it. Whis says if Goku's heart and mind were stable, his body could move on its own regardless of its form. If Goku can manage UI in his regular state, in his base form, is what he's basically telling him, it'll take care of his stamina problem. Now, I don't remember Goku having a stamina problem against Moro. I don't remember that. But if he did, I forgot. I don't really recall. I think he had one before, but hey, they trained together. They would know more than me. Then he can save the transformed version of UI as a trump card. Whis tells Goku and Vegeta that when training, their rivals are themselves. They should always strive to outdo their previous selves. That's great. That is great insight, and I agree with this. And that is Dragon Ball in a nutshell. Dragon Ball is surpass yourself, not just your enemy, your own limitations. It's been a theme since all the way back in the early parts of the series. He also mentions that something has happened. Goku, is it a new strong enemy? But Whis still isn't sure if it's an enemy or not. Now, he's talking about Granola here. Okay, he's talking about, and we're gonna get to that manga panel. This is more of the explanation here. There's not much there except for just Vegeta's still training and all that to learn the Hakai. And this is the last page, so it's only about 4. What is this? Let me see, y'all. Let me see. It's like 6 pages, yeah, or 7 pages. It's less than the usual 10, but which means that something's gonna happen. Something is gonna happen. So, anyways, okay. So it says here something has happened. It's a new enemy. He's sure it's an enemy. So that's pretty much it. So basically, he's telling them that he's not sure if Granola's a bad guy or not, and that's been the whole thing I've been telling y'all is. And I mentioned in my video the other day where I talked about my problems with this arc, is that Granola's clearly not an evil guy. He just wants revenge for what happened to his civilization, which makes sense. And I love revenge stories. If you haven't seen that video yet, check it out because I break down what my issues have been with the arc so far, and I'm hoping it gets better. And I think it will get better. I'm very optimistic about this. Okay, I'm very optimistic. But I still broke down like what I am not liking so far about how they've treated Granola. But one thing we've always known, at least I've told y'all, is that Granola, and I think y'all agree with me, is that he's not an evil guy. He might be a little bit too angry, but I can't blame him for that. It's justified anger. You know, he's not maniacal. He's not, you know, trying to rule the galaxy or anything selfish. He just wants revenge, which in some ways it is selfish. But, you know, Frieza is a prick. I mean, he's a bad guy. And so Whis himself already senses that Granola might not be evil. And thus, like I said the other day in another video I did about 7-3, which I'll leave these up on the screen for y'all to watch here in a minute, 7-3 might be the real enemy, or maybe one of the heaters. I mean, it might not be Granola. Granola might just be a guy who they have to overcome, or a guy who's going to work with them at some point to take us a bigger threat. You know what I mean? And if 7-3 gets Granola's powers, that'll be a real problem, especially if he's being controlled by the heaters. He doesn't care about dying, because he doesn't die. He's a machine. He has no soul. So that, you know, presumably, he's not like the other androids. Some of them do have souls, some don't, depending on the kind of android they are. Like 17 and 18 were humans first. So it's one of those things where, you know, that's the way I see it going. So what do you think about these spoilers? Let me know in the comments. And also, I want you to leave a comment and let me know about your thoughts on UI. I'm very curious. Thanks for watching. Have a great one. I'll talk to y'all real soon.